The question arises, how should the church be involved in social justice? Father Jamie should just be concerned about souls, right? So long as you say yes, then Father Jamie's job description is defined. Once you say that Father Jamie should be doing more than just attending to the souls, that's where the job description becomes blurry. What about all of us as Christians? If we're concerned about more than just souls, then our job description as Christians gets blurry. So there are a few questions that we have to ask. One is, first of all, is the constitutional question. The constitutional question is, should our religious beliefs be legislated? Should we somehow take our religious beliefs and make them law for everyone? Examples from the Jewish law would be, thou shalt not eat pork or shrimp or lobster or catfish or pepperoni pizza. Okay? Should we legislate that for everyone? That's our religious belief. Should we legislate that for everyone? Euthanasia, gay marriage, same-sex marriage. Think of same-sex marriage and the amount, the millions of dollars that the Roman Catholic Church and its bishops funnel into. Andy talked about taxation earlier and all the money that flows up the pyramid. When they start using our tax money, our cathedraticum, to be against certain measures that perhaps are helping to liberate people. Ooh, these become thorny subjects.
I see commercials on TV that are sponsored.
When you use our tax money to do something that we're not all in agreement with, that becomes a challenge. So the constitutional question, should religion be brought into the public life? Partly, we have to ask these questions because religious rhetoric often diminishes pluralism. Here in the United States, what is the motto that's on the back of our currency? E pluribus unum. E pluribus unum, what does that mean? From many, one. We're one nation, but we're many people with many different viewpoints, and that's good. That's okay. As a nation, we see that as a good thing. The diversity and plurality is a good thing. What happens with religion? People tend to come in and say, no, this is the way it is. So it's not different people looking at something from different perspectives. No, religious people, fundamentalists, tend to come in and say, no, this is the way it is. This is right, this is wrong. This is good, this is bad. One, should those sorts of things influence our public life as a nation, especially when we value diversity? Another concern is whether organized religion should receive any favoritism. That is to say, should our government here in the United States, should our government favor one religion over another? What do you think? What do you think in the United States we're favoring Baptists over Catholics and Methodists and Presbyterians and Hindus and Sikhs and Buddhists and Muslims, etc.? It doesn't seem that we want to advocate that. So the church, the government sees the church as a voluntary organization, meaning if you want to belong to a church, you knock yourself out, go belong to a church, right? You're free to belong to a church. It's a voluntary organization. Churches and other voluntary organizations, they give color and shape to society and to a healthy democracy. It's good for people to associate with different groups like that. It helps to bring variety to what we do. But the church-state relation is debated partly because when we start, as a church, when we start stepping into political issues, things get a little sticky. Bishops, when they start organizing money and people, right? What are the two ways that you get power in this world? By organizing people and or organizing money. When bishops start organizing people and or money, what do they tend to do? They tend to start using that to influence legislation, to influence public life, to influence various issues. So that's the constitutional question that arises when we as a church step into public affairs. What about the theological question? The theological question is simply, how does our stepping into those things fit with our mission as a church? It seems that our stepping into those things is rooted in the dignity of the human being, meaning the reason that we get involved in those issues is because we believe in the dignity of the human being. And so any of the issues that we raise during this course, whether it's euthanasia, or whether it's illegal immigration, or whether it's whatever the issue is, why do we as a church step into those issues? Because we believe it has to do with human dignity. The church's social mission also fits within our overall mission of being prophetic and of transforming society. So Jesus talked about putting the leaven, the yeast, into the dough. What happens when you put the yeast into the dough? It's transformed. something happens. The Second Vatican Council said, you lay people, you are the leaven. Come to church, when you go back out to your homes and your workplaces and your communities, you should be that leaven transforming that dough, making it rise. So that's the theological question. How does it fit with our mission as a church? The moral question is, what vision are we going to bring to society as a church? Well, this is a serious question. The Roman Catholic Church excludes women. That's the vision they're bringing to society. The Roman Catholic Church says certain things are intrinsically evil, even without judging a person's intention or the situation, without looking at the circumstance. This is evil. It's bringing certain moral presuppositions to the conversation. So the question is, what vision are we going to bring to that conversation? In the American Catholic Church, do we tend to be so hard-line about certain issues? No, we bring a different vision to the conversation. We'd like to think that we're a welcoming and compassionate and inclusive community. Right? Following the footsteps of Christ, we're trying to follow the footsteps of Christ in that respect. So the question becomes how to build a society so that individuals can live in community without the violation of the rights of those individuals. So when the church has this moral vision. When the church steps into various issues, the church has to be careful because it, meaning we as a church, we can talk about issues, we never talk about individuals, right? We never say so-and-so is good or bad, right or wrong. When it comes to political candidates, right? When the elections come around at Holy Family, we're not going to each get a voter's guide saying who we should vote for in the next election. Why not? Because it's not being for or against individuals. It's talking about the issues, not individuals. And also as a church then, why this moral vision? Because essentially what we're doing as a church is we're assessing the power of evil and sin. We as a church simply take a look at the situation and try to say how it is that this situation may or may not be sinful. How it may be set up to, how it may be oppressing certain people or giving certain people disadvantages while the others not. How it is that injustice and or sin might be present in various institutions. Part of our job as a church is to be prophetic in that way. So there was the constitutional question, the moral question, the theological question. The final question is strategic. So the question becomes, what role are we as a church going to have in this world? Or what's our strategy for engaging the world, right? We're going to take our resources, all the money that we gather together, all the power that we have, and start using it as a bully. What do you call it? Use it to beat people over the head. How are we going to engage the world? And so in this respect, Father Ken Himes would talk about 3 levels of church. There's the institutional level of church, where the church enters into the debate at the level of values and communicates a certain vision to the larger society. That's the institutional level of the church, where the church says, this is what we believe as a church. Got to be careful with that, because the church often comes out with certain teachings at the institutional level. Does that mean that everyone is going to be following that? Birth control was an instance of that, right? When the church pretended to speak and say, this is what we believe as a church. Wait a minute, is that what the people would say? So that's the institutional level of the church. There's also the communal level of the church. And the communal or communal level of the church simply acknowledges how it is that people come to the church because they're looking for meaning and they're looking to be in relationship with other people. And so there's this communal aspect of the church. There's the institutional church, the hierarchy and all the structure of the church. There's also this communal level that we see at Holy Family every Sunday and every Wednesday night. And then there's the personal level of the church, where the church asks us what we can do at the individual level to contribute to the common good. Okay? Nice to talk about the institutional level, what the church should do, or the communal level, what we're doing as a community. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing to build up the common good? What are you doing to bring justice to this world? That's the personal level of the church.